If you didn't think the left could get any crazier, well, you're absolutely wrong. You have a leading candidate in the New York City mayoral race that might win that is a complete socialist and a complete and utter buffoon. This is a guy that grew up in wealth, has never held a real job. Here's some of the policies that they're talking about in New York City in this race. Replace fighting crime. Instead of using police, we'll use mental health workers. They want affordable housing and rent control. Also, they want to control the price of groceries. They want community-owned grocery stores. They want New York City to be an abortion sanctuary, anti-racism curriculum for K through 5 education, $65 million doled out to trans kids, millions of dollars doled out to help illegal aliens in the city of New York. This is one of your main candidates, Zohran Mamdani. Guys, if this guy wins New York City, that place is done. Finished. Finito. This is the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I want to talk about this for a second. And I wasn't going to talk about this, to be honest with you. This is something that, you get these pieces of news and everybody talks about them. Obviously, we've got some big news, major news this week, obviously with the Israel-Iran war. We'll get into that momentarily. But obviously there's big news out there, big fish to fry. And so this was one of those stories. I was like, I may talk about it, but it's New York City. New York City is cray cray. I expect them to act like New York City. Unfortunately, I visited New York City, myself and my family, for the first time this past winter. And I actually enjoyed it far more than I thought I would, despite the fact that it was dirty, despite the fact that it smelled like weed, despite the fact that there was no place to find public restrooms, or it was so difficult to find public restrooms. Even through all of that, I enjoyed it. You could see what New York City once was. And I got to say, the places that that we ate there were absolutely phenomenal. That did remind me of Los Angeles. You could go to any mom and pop place that they had, and the food was just, man, it was just delicious. It was exquisite. And I loved that. And I loved the city feel. So it was cool in that sense. But guys, listen, at first, again, I wasn't really concerned about this particular story, but it is going to impact us, and I had to be reminded about that. But it is going to impact us. I mean, I live in the state of Florida. For one, a lot of people abandon their blue states and they move to the state of Florida. They've done the same to Texas, Arizona, so on, et cetera. But Florida is one of the major states that a lot of people move to escape a blue state and blue city policies. But what does that do for us? That causes the cost of housing to skyrocket, rent to skyrocket. It becomes a matter of scarcity. You guys know that. And so that's not something that we want. Or you may get liberals, even though we've been blessed to have a lot of people that moved to the state of Florida, actually either were Republicans or registered Republicans. A lot of people that are liberals move to the state of Florida because they want to escape the policies that they left behind. And that's not what I want to see. And beyond that, Dennis Prager has talked about this, how the left has ruined many of the cities. I mean, the cities are these bastions of culture and art, music and entertainment. And that stuff, frankly, that we all can enjoy. And frankly, I think we all need in order to enhance our living experience while we're here on this earth. And I don't want to see our cities destroyed. I'd love to be able to travel to New York City and feel safe. I'd love to be able to travel back to Los Angeles and feel safe, or any one of our major cities. I'd love to be able to travel there and just enjoy the culture, the city for what it is, the uniqueness of that city, without having to worry about watching my back. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So I want to play some videos for you. This is the leading candidate for the New York City mayoral race, at least according to the polls, if you are to believe some of the polls. Sometimes you guys got to remember what Rush Limbaugh taught us. Sometimes these polls are created to shape the news, not necessarily give you the news. Having said that, I want you guys to understand, again, this is a guy that has grown up in wealth, has never held a real job, and he's on the precipice, quite possibly, becoming the next New York City mayor. I pray to God that he loses. Now, he's in a primary against Kill You Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, that killed all these elderly people in the nursing homes. We're in a sad state of affairs, but I hate to say it. I'd rather see Andrew Cuomo become the mayor than this guy, or Mayor Eric Adams, even though he's running as an independent. That's kind of a long shot. I'd rather see him remain the mayor rather than this guy become mayor. And of course, you got Curtis Sliwa. I believe it's pronounced Sliwa of the I forget what are the name of the people with the red hats, the Guardian Angels in New York City. I would love for him to become the mayor of New York City, get that city cleaned up and make it safe again, make the subway system safe and clean. But we got to be honest that's a harder haul. All right, but I hope it could be Curtis, but likely it's going to be one of these lefties. I mean, that's just New York City, unfortunately. But I want to play a video clip for you. Actually, we'll play a few. This is video clip number 1. This is Zoran Mamdani. I believe I'm pronouncing that name correctly. If we could go to...
Alhamdulillah, there are 1 million Muslims in this city. 200,000 of us are registered to vote as Democrats. In the last election, only 7% of us voted. Now, I will not blame anyone because often it feels like there isn't much to vote for. But this June 24th, with early voting starting tomorrow, it is an opportunity. An opportunity for us to show that Muslims don't just belong in New York City, we also belong in City Hall. Because yesterday I stood on the debate and Andrew Cuomo stood next to me. And here was a man who was the governor for a decade. And he could not name a single mosque he had ever visited. He could not name it because he does not care.
Okay. And that is a guy that honestly, in a woke city like New York, can make inroads and is, in fact, making inroads. And then you get all of this. I believe it's his father, if I'm not mistaken, that works for Columbia University as a professor. And I believe it's his mother that's in the entertainment industry, film industry, if I recall correctly. I mean, so these people come from money, but they're also, this isn't your regular everyday candidate. Again, this is a guy that has come from wealth. This is a guy that has not held a real job. You see him appealing to the Muslims. And guys, listen, I have no problem with Muslims, but I do have a problem with Islamists. I do have a problem with jihad. I do have a problem that people that want to turn around or fundamentally transform our Judeo-Christian values. And I'm sorry, the Quran is not copacetic. I mean, it doesn't. They don't match. They don't match. It's as simple as that. And you start flipping our big cities like New York City, you're going to have a major impact. Look at what's happening already on these college campuses. It's insane. It's insane, some of the things that we see going on. Let's go to this. Let's go to video clip number 6. And I want to give you, shortly, I'm going to give you the top 5 hat tip to the Daily Wire, the craziest policy proposals, which sadly is not crazy when it comes to the left. They're actually becoming normative. I think after Trump beat their behinds in November, I feel like the left is doubling down on crazy. The donors are out, but it doesn't matter. The nutcases are running the asylum. The prisoners are running the asylum. Let's go to video clip number 6. Por favor. This guy is a jihadist, this Zoran Mamdani. Again, if the polls are accurate, this guy stands a great chance of winning and becoming the next New York City mayor, of which I will never visit that place while he's in charge. All right, let's roll a game. Cut number 6. Por favor.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Eid Mubarak. Thank you.
Running for New York City mayor. Free Palestine. All right, so let's get to some of these. These are some of the... It's not just him. I mean, there's plenty of these guys. Michael Blake, the current comptroller, Brad Lander, that threw himself in front of the cameras and intentionally linked his arm to a legal alien that was getting ready to get, I believe he was going to be detained by ICE or going to be deported by ICE. And this moron linked his arms to the guy in order to get his face on the cameras. Because remember, the left is all about theater. They're all about political theater. Notice that everything they touch, they destroy. All of the cities, the blue cities that they run, are in disarray. Prices are high. Crime is high. Homelessness is high. But these are some of the things that they're proposing. There's 5 things. Crime fighting therapists. They want to pave golf courses for affordable housing. Abortion, hospitality industry, basically make New York City an abortion sanctuary. We'll get to that. Anti-hate crime curriculum for kindergartners, because if little Tommy doesn't realize he's a racist by the time he's in kindergarten, what the heck are you doing, parents? So anyway, they want to that this is what they're proposing: $65 million to tell your kids that were born a boy or a girl that they're not a boy or a girl. And so they want to be able to afford those little children the money to be able to chop their stuff off, mutilate themselves. So these are the things, these are the platforms that these radical leftists, including Zoran Mamdani, are running on. And we've got to put a stop to this nonsense. I mean, we've got to beat these people, and we've got to start beating these people, frankly, even in blue cities, blue states. How does that happen, Carl? I don't know, except get out there and push back. And I think we have to push back, not just in elections. Maybe the numbers will grow. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, push back online. We got to stop letting these people tell us that boys can be girls and vice versa, and just transforming truth. We'll be back with more. Hey guys, Carl Jackson here. As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets. You can get any size and any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can even get queens, kings, split kings, and cow kings, any size and any color, just $49.98. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you'll receive $100 in free digital gifts. All you have to do is call 1-800-858-0263. Use the promo code Carl. Go to mypillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't spell it like the communists. For the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream Sheets, any size and any color. That number again, 1-800-858-0263. Promo code Carl. All right. So again, we've just got to fight back any way that we can. And obviously I'm speaking on the election, on the electoral front. I'm speaking on online. I'm speaking of verbally. We've got to be able to fight back against their ideas. Maybe some of you need to become teachers and get involved if God is giving you that gifting, or wherever God has gifted you to be able to fight back. If it's monetarily, you got money and you're on the right, and you can prop up a candidate like a Curtis Sliwa. I don't remember his last name. Forgive me. If you can prop him up, send him some money, help him to get his platform and his message across in New York City. We got to put a dent in this race and races like it. I'm tired of the left taking over areas of the country and just making them too expensive and unsafe. But so here's one of the proposals, and we've heard this before. This is from Michael Blake. But again, all of these people, they actually challenge each other. I think you know how the Bible teaches us that iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron when it comes to communists too. And so they go further left. And that's exactly what they're doing, because they have nowhere to go. They have no leadership. I'll tell you about the donor numbers. They are hurting big time. I'm sure many of you have heard the story. They're thinking about already ousting the DNC head. The donors are, they're just not doing a good job. They're not able to raise money right now. And there's a bunch of disarray within the Democrat Party. And then you got the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs. Everybody thinks they're the leader of the party, but they're rudderless. They have no leader. But what they do have is a bunch of crazy loons that the Obama administration, that Nancy Pelosi and all of these radicals rose up, and now they've taken control of the asylum, and they're all crazy. It's like the Democrat Party is a party. And I'm talking about the leadership. I'm not necessarily talking about the voters, but some of you voters, if you're paying attention to the policies and you're voting for them, maybe there's something wrong with you too, because I argue I contend that the Democrat Party is full of a bunch of mentally ill people. It's crazy. All right, so they want to fight crime with therapists. All right, so Michael Blake, a former assemblyman who served in the Obama administration, says he would hire, quote, up to 1,000 mental health professionals, quote unquote, to work alongside or instead of law enforcement. He says, and I quote, these professionals will be embedded in 911 dispatch systems and trained to de-escalate emergencies without law enforcement present. Do you realize how dumb and naive you have to be to say a thing like that? And what's sad to me is some people will hear this, a bunch of people that have been brainwashed in kindergarten, in high school, and on these college universities, and they will say, that's a great idea because so many of these black and brown people are so oppressed. We don't want to offend them by sending law enforcement out, or, we can't stand the cops. So even if it's whites, even if it's Latinos, we don't want to offend them by sending out law enforcement. And perhaps we can get people, and because law enforcement are the real issue, they're the real problem, right? So let's bring out some mental health counselors, some mental health professionals. Now, I'm not sure how a mental Gabe, you may want to get this one. I'm not sure how a mental health professional is advantageous. It's advantageous to use a mental health professional instead of a cop when it comes to, I don't know, rape, murder, incest. What do you do? If you're a mental health professional, do you go to a violent criminal like that and say, tell me, why did you do that? What do you say? Tell me how you feel right now. If we let you go, even though you just raped this person, even though you just murdered this person, I know you didn't mean to do it. Just tell us you won't do it again. How does that work? How does a mental health professional stop a murderer or a rapist? How does that work? How are they going to stop it? This drives me nuts. This is crazy. These are third graders. These are mentally ill people coming up with policies that people are going to literally vote for. Here's another one. They want to pave golf courses. The comptroller, Brad Lander, the one that threw himself in front of the camera, linked himself up with an illegal who got deported anyway. I mean, it's all political theater. All right, so linked his arms up. He wants to pave over 4 municipal golf courses to build affordable housing. You know what's going to happen to affordable housing? You build affordable housing in New York, the prices are going to skyrocket because that's what always happens. You create scarcity. You create once you build affordable housing. Let's say you build 500. In this case, they want to build, what is it? 50,000. They're looking at 50,000 homes. That means less than 500 will be built. But 50,000 home Lander wants to provide if he tears down these golf courses, just makes them flat and put asphalt over them. The goal is 500,000 homes, but he figures if he rolls over the golf courses and puts asphalt over them, he can build 50,000 on how many acres of that? 2,500 acres of land. Where are they going to get the money to do this? And then people are going to flood in. And so you're going to get a bunch of people, hey, rent control here, right? All right. So the rent is, I don't know, whatever it would be in New York City, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month for, 800 square feet. Who knows? The prices are absolutely insane. And then you're going to get a bunch of people bum rushing because the prices will be a little lower than the average rip-off apartment in New York City. And so you get a bunch of people bum rushing. What will they have to do? Because so many people will want those places, they're going to have to raise the prices to keep some of the riffraff off. You see how that works? It never works. Rent control never works. They also want to take over the grocery stores. Lander also says he wants affirming, as part of his affirming housing policy, he also plans to build an LGBTQ senior housing community. These people don't grow up. These people are mentally ill themselves, and you've got New Yorkers voting for them. They want an abortion hospitality industry. Landers wants to, he wants a safe, effective abortion care if the federal government limits or withdraws the abortion pill. By the way, the number of abortions that are happening right now because of the pill are skyrocketing. What's not being talked about is the damage that's being done to some of these women and their bodies because they're not getting the best health care possible. It's sad what's happening. Lander's vision extends beyond the city to, quote, build a pipeline of abortion providers for New York City and beyond, provide targeted essential support for people traveling from states where abortions are banned who seek care. So in the Big Apple, you can get your big baby killed. That's what he wants. And now they want anti-hate crime. Another one, Zelnar Myrie wants anti-hate crime curriculum for kindergartens. Whoop-de-doo. So if you're little Tommy, 5 years old, he's white, he doesn't realize he's a racist. Parents, what have you been doing wrong? Why haven't you taught Tommy that he's a racist? He was born a racist because his skin is fair. Don't you get it? Now they want to teach this to kindergarten. They want to go K through 5. Right now, the curriculum is only slated for higher curriculums. They want to change that. Myrie says, as mayor, will expand the city's existing tolerance curriculum, which means white people aren't tolerated, by the way, which is currently only available to older students, to students aged K through 5, so that all of New York City Department of Education students, grades K through 12, have access to discriminatory and anti-hate curriculum. Who defines hate? This is absurd. The New York City Public Schools website offers resources on discussing racism in the classroom, including the Anti-Defamation League, an organization that encouraged a counterterrorism agency to open an investigation into Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire. Myrie's policy doesn't elaborate on the existing tolerance curriculum, close quote. $65 million to trans your kids. That's a great use of money. This is what this Zandani character and these other mayoral candidates of New York City are talking about. So 65 million. So in addition, Mamdani wants to spend millions on gender affirming, quote unquote, trans procedures for adults and children. Mamdani's plan directly opposes Trump's efforts to restrict transgender procedures for minors. You even, I mean, this is honestly, the left is doubling down on stupid. It's like they look at President Trump. They look at his policies, and whatever Trump does, they have to fight against. Even if they stood for it at one time. Everybody knows that men are men and women are women. But if Trump says otherwise, then their attitude changes. It's insanity at its finest. But this is where we are in the United States of America right now. But the Democrats are really hurting. Here's an article from Daily Fetch. Billionaire donors cut off Democrat cash flow, called DNC ineffectual. Now, make no bones about it, guys. People will eventually donate. But right now, the DNC is hurting. They've only raked in, I believe it's $18 million, 25% of what the Republican Party has raked in at this point. They blew through $2 billion in November's election, obviously, with Kamala Harris, and they lost a bunch of seats. It didn't go anywhere. They lost the swing states. You had all of the nonsense that occurred with David Hogg under his brief tenure, and they were so busy fighting against that disruption that they neglected to fundraise and register voters. It's the craziest thing. So now you got donors like Barry Diller and Michael Bloomberg, both billionaires that are flat out refusing to hand over any cash for now, they say, to the party's main fundraising committee because there's now a, quote, broad consensus it's ineffectual. Now, here's the thing. I do want to warn Republicans real quick. Eventually, these guys will give up money. You know why? Because they're commies too. And they can use these useful idiots. But right now, the useful idiots aren't working strategically or effectively. Once they get back in line, these people will give them money. So make no mistake about it. They're out of money right now. They won't be that way forever. This is the Carl Jackson Show. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, don't grow weary doing good. And follow me on social media at Carl Jackson Show or at The Carl Jackson Show, X, Instagram, and Facebook.